We're live.
Hello, audience. Are you ready for something different?
You'll see him in your nightmares, you'll see him in your dreams. He'll appear out of nowhere, but he ain't what he seems. You'll see him in your head on the TV screen. Hey buddy, I'm warning you to turn it off. He's a ghost, he's a god, he's a man, he's a guru. He'll reach deep into the hole, heal your shrinking soul, but there won't be a single thing that you can do. He's a god, he's a man, he's a ghost, he's a guru. You're one microscopic cog in his catastrophic plan, designed and directed by his red right hand.
Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel after quite the hiatus. But I am back, and we are going to be tackling the newest installment of the Scream franchise. How's everybody doing today?
Tired.
No, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy workload for me lately too, but yep, I do also want to apologize for getting to this so late. I was going to try and do this at least Saturday and then Sunday, but things came up, and it was also about getting everyone on here. So we're here, and what do you know? I think we all actually agree on one for once. Mm-hmm. But before we get into it, what we will do is brief thoughts on the first 5. Going into this one, brief out of the theater thoughts on this, and then we will get into all of the categories. So just to get right into it, I love the Scream franchise. Next to Halloween, it is probably my second favorite horror franchise of all time. I love the characters, the meta commentary, just like everything that everyone loves Scream for. The first one, it's great. It saved the horror genre at a time when it was pretty much dying, and again, it had interesting characters and commentary. The sequel, while I have possibly some controversial thoughts on it, I still like it a lot. Although I'm pissed off that they killed Randy, spoilers, I still feel like they were able to have just as strong a commentary, and the ending was pretty kick-ass. Scream 3, while often considered the worst one, I like it more than most. And I may even like it more than 2? ? Wink. And then I thought it was a pretty cool twist that there was just one killer that time, and I did not mind the reveal with Roman. Scream 4, while I won't spoil it where it goes in my ranking, I think it's brilliant. I think it has the best commentary in that the franchise had had since 2, and the motives of the killers, chef's kiss. Mwah. Then we had Scream 5, which you could argue had a lot going against it given the death of Wes Craven. But I thought they were able to greatly honor the legacy of Wes Craven, and I thought they did the characters both old and new very well. And you had some gnarly kills in there, so it was a win-win. Now we have Scream 6, which maybe had more going against it than 5 did, considering you didn't have Neve Campbell coming back. And everyone was questioning, well, it's just a year later, so what could the new meta commentary be? I certainly had my concerns, but it was still, I still had a lot of excitement for it, and it was my most anticipated horror movie of the year. Walking out of the theater, I thought this was kick-ass. Is it one of the best of the series? Maybe not, but I would say the franchise can retain its streak as the most consistent horror franchise in terms of quality. I'm sure we would all probably agree. Like, I'm the Halloween stan saying that Scream is definitely the most consistent horror franchise in terms of quality. While there's some people who could say they don't like this film or that film, most people would agree that there is yet to be a truly awful or terrible Scream movie. So those are my thoughts, and now I will pass it on to Devin.
So I've consistently enjoyed all the Scream movies. I mean, the first one's a classic. I like the second one. I enjoy the third one. In fact, I'd say the third one probably had my favorite killer. I thought Roman was very underrated. I enjoyed Scream 4, and I thought Scream 5 was fine. And Scream 6, I was surprised. I was expecting much from it. It actually turned out to be good.
Awesome. Rob?
All right, so the first Scream movie is a classic, enough said. And the second one was really good too. The second one was really good. Third one, I do actually enjoy that one. I don't think it's the worst. I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. I think it is. I do really enjoy it. Four, I really enjoy, and the fifth one, I mean, I did enjoy the fifth one at first, but as time went on, it got a little bit worse. But I still think it's more on the level of all right. So and as for Scream 6, well, we'll get to that when we do our reviews. So. Zach?
Excellent. So, we will be keeping it spoiler-free for about, I don't know, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes before we start talking spoilers. So, spoiler-free. We will all get into the positives of Scream 6. And I'm going to say right off the bat how well they were able to handle the absence of Sidney Prescott. While you could argue, some people could say, oh, the franchise is nothing without her. You know, it would feel like a giant hole that the movie would have without her. I thought they handled her absence very well, because what I loved about Sidney, by the way, in Scream 5, for context, is how she was just living her life. She had nothing to do with it. Not to say that she didn't care still about what was going on, but she just wants to be with her family. She wanted to live her life, and it was, spoiler alert, the death of Dewey that brought her back to avenge him. I loved how they handled it, and it felt properly motivated. So now this time, I could totally buy that Sidney is just done with it. Again, not to say that she just doesn't care about it still, but she just wants to be with her family, and there's a bit of dialogue they put in it that I feel like handled it really well. And then I gotta say, they're not the original 3 characters, but I loved the core 4. I'm invested. Mason Gooding, especially as Chad, I think, stole a lot of the scenes in this. His character got a huge friggin' upgrade in this. I don't know what y'all think, but he was one of the highlights, and I loved the dynamic between Sam and her sister. I liked how it was all about, trying to let her go, just let her live her own life. And then you have Ghostface being at his most fucking brutal, arguably. Maybe Scream 4 might be a bit more, but I personally think that these are the most gnarly and vicious kills that the franchise has ever had. And I also got to compliment how the film is able to really handle being dark in moments, while still having the meta quips and that edge to it. It didn't feel tonally inconsistent ever at any point, and they were able to juggle the tones very well. And I'll even go positive on the third act. While it was admittedly it went into the more familiar side of Scream that these movies usually go for, I ran with it because I was at least intimidated by the killer and or killers. Now, I will pass it on to Devin for his positives.
So some of my positives, I really, really liked the New York setting. It added something new to this series. I thought they used the setting very well. I kind of like what you said earlier, the core four. I really liked them. I liked their dynamic. I liked Sam and Tara's chemistry. I liked their arcs. The humor, I thought the movie was really funny. I didn't mind the commentary, and I loved the kills, and I liked how brutal Ghostface was in this movie. And it's always great to hear Roger L. Jackson's awesome voice. Yeah,
Awesome.
those are my positives.
Alrighty, Rob.
Okay. All right. Let me just pull it up here. There we go. Okay. So, my positives. First of all, the acting all around is solid from everyone in the original cast as well as the new cast. They all do a really good job. I do like the different kind of setting. Just like what Devin said, it takes place in New York City rather than like the suburban area of Woodsboro. Just a different kind of tone. The core four all do an excellent job, and I especially like the chemistry and the relationship between Sam and her sister Tara. They do argue. They do work together. I mean, they do both have wonderful chemistry, and they do feel like sisters. The kills are very brutal. They're very well done, and they're a lot of fun. The humor is hilarious, and I also like its commentary about subversion of expectations, conspiracy theories, and the discussion about franchises in general. Because one of the things that worried me about this most is going to ScreaIVI, which, by the way, I am going to call because that's what the marketing calls it. I'm not calling it Scream 6. I just think I want to make fun of it by calling it ScreaIVI. But one thing that really worried me was just the fact that I feel like Scream was always known for like doing meta commentaries and just talking about like being self-aware about what it's trying to of different kind of styles with each Scream movie. But I was worried about that they would run out of ideas, but I mean they did surprise me with their discussion of like franchises and like I said, subversion expectations. Seeing how Hollywood loves pumping out multiple franchises, it just seems fitting for them to go that kind of direction. So that's the positives I have.
Excellent. And going along to the mixed aspects, I will just kick it off right away. My big thing right off the bat is I'm really on the fence about how they used Gale Weathers in this. There's one thing they revealed with her character that she does, like right in her first scene, something they reveal with her that really had me peeved, and it goes along with something that with how they were progressing her character in 5 that I loved how they did, and I feel like they backtracked on that in this movie. And I'll get more into that in spoilers. And I do gotta say, for as brutal and vicious as some of these kills are, some of the characters had way too much plot armor. Like, I would have appreciated more risks. The tension and suspense is there, especially in the subway scene. Like, holy shit, that I had freaking chills actually watching the scene in context. But it's kind of or maybe I already just said it right off the bat, but without going fully into spoilers, the movie did need more risks. And I don't know. I feel like the ending scene could have used a bit more a bit more of a hook to kind of tease another sequel if they want to do another one, to at least round it up to a trilogy if they want to, like, maybe deliver a final chapter. But that's about it for me for mixed, and I'll hand it to Devin.
If I was mixed about anything, we're still keeping the spoiler free.
Oh yeah.
Shit. I can't get into like my mixed aspect without getting into spoilers. So,
all right. So all right then.
Go to Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly the same way as. I mean, I did have some. I mean, there were some things that I was kind of mixed about, but I mean, I can't talk about too much because this half is spoiler free. So we'll just wait till we get to spoilers.
Very well. All right then. Kind of going into the negatives then real quick. It kind of goes back to the plot armor thing I said I had with the characters. I felt like it was kind of. I felt like it was they kind of almost tread the line for credibility as far as what these characters are able to survive. Because there's one chick that gets her freaking stomach cut open, and then, well, something else happens, and then there's another point where someone's getting stabbed the fuck up, and then something happens. So I feel like they're really treading the line for realism as far as what characters could survive, and that was kind of getting to me, but not to the point, obviously, where I was like, fuck this movie. So, but that's about it as far as negatives. Oh shit. So what do you think, Rob? Any negatives?
I mean, first of all, I didn't like how Gale was in this movie, and I did have some issues with things with the ending. I know I'm just keeping it brief and all, but it would involve, like I said, it would involve spoilers. So, but I mean, some of the big issues I do have just really involve like the character of Gale and what happens at the ending. But I'll save that for when we talk about spoilers.
All right. Any negatives, Devin, before we go into spoilers?
I still think the whole reveal of Sam being Billy Loomis's daughter makes absolutely no sense. I still don't like that. I still think Gil Weathers is a total bitch, and I don't like how she was used. And with that second one, I gotta go into spoilers because when there was something that was revealed at the end, and it really did piss me off.
Alrighty then. So by this point, we'll just all talk freely, like not like going around one by one. We'll all just start talking about what we thought. So from this point on, spoiler warning: if you have not seen Scream 6 and you are planning to see Scream 6, click out now and then come back to the video later once you've seen it. But for now, spoiler warning. All right, now and again, we're not. We'll just all just talk freely, like not like round the table thing. We'll just talk freely. I don't like how what they did with. I don't mean like as a whole. I mean, I get there were other scenes she had that were really good, but I don't. They backtracked on her character development in Scream 5. Like, what happened to those fuckers can live in anonymity? I'm gonna write about Dewey, a good man that did a lot of things for Woodsboro. I'm like, because say what you will about how she'll always, do something for the story and for a book order, but she cared about Dewey. She really did, and I don't think that she wouldn't do that. So what the hell happened to, again, I'm going to write about Dewey. Those fuckers can live in anonymity. And you're going to call Sam a killer? So...
What the fuck?
You're on point, my man.
Yeah, because again, Yeah, because again, say what you want about her as a person, how she'll always go for the story or whatever, but she cared about Dewey. That was genuine.
Yeah, I mean that I had, like I said, in my negatives, it's like I had issues about my problems with Gale. First of all, what you said about the fact that if they backtrack on her character from the last movie, it just felt kind of insulting. And plus, I don't know if this is going to get me Phantom Zoned but I think Gail should have died.
Yes. Thank you.
I think she should have died.
She needs to go.
Exactly.
I was pissed they didn't kill her in the last movie.
Exactly.
I can agree, not because I don't like her or anything, but for story purposes, serving some emotional weight, I can see why, yeah. But and that kind of goes back to not enough major characters died in this. Like Chad, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. For as much as I loved Chad in this, like I really do think he stole well, not really stole the show, but I feel like he stole a lot of scenes. That fucker should be dead.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I do think at some points they did play it a little safe. And going back to your whole thing with the whole thing with Gale, I've never liked Gale. Even in the first movie, I've never liked Gale. I always thought she was a bitch. And when they brought her back and then they made her turn her into a total bitch again, even more of a bitch, I'm like, yo, what the hell? What happened to the character development? And I'm sorry about my cat dragging his bull around.
That's all right.
I don't know why he fucking does that, but he does. But like,
probably trying to get it away from Mia.
Like, what happened? What happened to the character development?
Yeah, because again, it's like, say what you want about her as a person. Again, how she'll always go for the story or whatever, but she was still progressing. She cared about Dewey. She grew to care about Sydney, and for as much of a bitch as she can be, she had a heart. She would actually stick her neck out to save some people's lives.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought they were actually going to kill her off. And I'm like, oh my god, she's going to die. Yes.
That's what I thought it said when it looked like they killed her, and then by the end they were like, oh, she's at the hospital, she's okay, and I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
That my first immediate thought when I thought she died was, ding dong, the witch is dead, the mean old witch, the wicked witch, ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
But for what?
And then they said, oh yeah, Gail's gonna be okay. Fuck!
I know.
We were so close.
So close. Because I'll be honest with you, one thing that kind of annoys me with all the Scream movies is the fact that characters that should die end up surviving in the end. Like, how many times, until the last movie, how many times has Dewey survived getting stabbed? How many times?
No, you can go.
I was just saying, like, before 5, when they killed him off for good, how many times has he been stabbed and then he gets carted off to an ambulance? How many times have we seen that? I mean, now it's the same. Now they're doing the same thing with Gale here.
Yeah, but to be fair, her scene with Ghostface was fucking awesome.
It was. That was a great scene.
Oh yeah, that was.
And plus, I don't know if you've noticed, but this is actually the first time that Gale has gotten a Ghostface call.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was like, funny how we've never spoken on the phone before.
I mean, it's been a year since I've seen the other 5. So, but who knows?
But yeah, all right. But yeah, that's I guess my big thing with the film. But not necessarily going to other issues, but let's talk about that fucking opening. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a really good opening.
That was.
And then when Flash like took off the mask and kills him, I'm like, oh, we're doing the killer reveal already.
I mean, for me, when he took off his mask and revealed himself, I kind of figured, okay, he was gonna die. So something just told me that they wouldn't be that stupid of revealing revealing who the killer is right away. So they always try to keep it a mystery until the end. So I just kind of figured that that the moment he took off the mask, I was like, okay, so you're a dead man.
And I loved how they were jabbing at Jason Takes Manhattan in that whole death scene with him. Because what was his name? His name was Jason.
Oh, Zach, don't you mean Jason Boats and Hose edition?
Boats and Hose.
Boats and Hose.
But yeah, dude, that was brilliant, and I couldn't, and it's like I couldn't have thought of a more perfect way to really jab at Jason Takes Manhattan, because you could just have like a bit of dialogue or all that where someone's saying, "Isn't this like Jason Takes Manhattan?" or whatever. It's like, yeah, but that movie sucked. Like that would have been the easy way to go about it, but this was clever. This was really fucking clever. And just the whole, but not just that, but just how they subverted what you expect out of a Scream opening. It's like, this is something new. This is something different. And it's like, they meant it when they said, I'm something different.
Fuck the movies.
Oh yeah. And then friggin', but, now, what y'all think about? Do you feel like they kind of backtracked on Sam and Tara's relationship in a way, because that not fully like to an egregious way like they did with Gale, but not really backtracked. But I feel like it was kind of like, because at the end they're in the end it's like, yo, we're gonna stick together. But now it's like Tara's like, you don't need to be on my ass every 5 minutes. But I feel like it kind of makes sense, because there's still kind of that tension between them.
I think it does kind of make sense. Like after the events of what happened in the last movie, because they realized that they could still be at risk of being hunted down. So
fair.
And kind of like jumping ahead to like the identities of the killers, their motive. I'm kind of with John on this one. Like the killer's motive in Scream 5, we are killing people because we don't like a movie, so we're gonna make our own movie. That was really stupid. But the killer's motive in this movie, it's nothing original.
It's pretty much Scream 2.
It's Mrs. Loomis's motive.
Exactly.
I can see why, but at the same time, because they're kind of poking at the idea of, oh, we're in a franchise this time. Whatever you expect it's gonna be, it's not actually.
Yeah.
Because with the new characters, this is their second go around with Ghostface, so I kind of see how they're maybe poking at that kind of idea. You know where I'm going with this. Not to say that I don't think it's unoriginal or anything, but I kind of got there going for, and I don't know. I mean, I was intimidated by at least the detective, the older guy. I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of how like we have three. Like you
Instead
have like 2 killers and and then you have a mastermind.
You got the 2 puppets and the puppeteer. So exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys think that
that threw me for a loop? I was like,
go on.
I was gonna say that threw me through a loop. Actually, it's like, holy shit, they're actually doing 3. Yeah, because they've been taught, because people have throughout theories for the longest time, or what if they did more than 2? So I was like, holy shit, they're actually doing it.
Yeah. Did you guys think that the reveals what I was going to say was, did you guys think that the reveal of who the killers were a bit too obvious?
Not really, because I didn't see, with the exception of Ethan, I didn't see the other two killers' identities coming.
I mean, for me, I didn't expect the cop, but something told me it was like the weird, awkward, nerdy friend that was. And then once they revealed that they were like father and son, I kind of figured. I pretty much knew who the third. I pretty much knew the slutty roommate was the third killer, so I kind of figured it out. So, but the only one. Oh, go on.
Nah. The detective was the only killer reveal that really got me, because I don't know, I felt like the actor was really doing a good job, because because you never know who the killers are gonna be, well, for the most part, but what was his name? Detective.
What's his name?
What was his name? But yeah, that guy. Like, I thought he was one of the more interesting characters in the movie, actually.
Yeah.
And fucking Christ, we haven't even talked about Kirby yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I liked her in this movie.
Yeah, I liked her too.
I was so worried that they were gonna because these are people that really have a love and a passion for the Scream franchise. You can tell, so I don't think they would actively waste a character that they know is a fan favorite, but I was still worried that she wouldn't have enough to do, but I was satisfied with what they did with her in it.
And like what I was gonna say, like going off like your point earlier, Rob, I wouldn't say the killer's reveal was too obvious, because I stand by this. The twist of Billy and Stu being the killers in the first movie was terrible. They told you from the very beginning, they never hid the fact these two were the killers. Billy looked creepy, and Stu just acted nuts. Like that scene where they confront Randy in the video store, it's just saying,
he was fine.
It's just saying, we're the killers. Look, we're the killers. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was too goddamn obvious. Because usually, like, a lot of the Scream movies don't really have good twists.
I thought 4 had a good reveal. Like, I really didn't see it coming with Jill.
And I called it in Scream 2. But then again, those movies, they have, like, I know the killers, I could usually tell when the killer is revealed, but they always add like a little twist, like oh, I didn't know, like, oh, Billy and Stu were the ones that actually killed Sydney's mother. I'm like, oh, okay. Roman was actually Sydney's brother, and he was the true mastermind of everything from the beginning.
Definitely, but I don't know though. I mean, I'm just glad though that they're using the already established characters and not trying to pander to fans by bringing anybody back that's already dead. Because that there's that one theory going around, which I don't know how people can even think Stu is alive.
Yeah, didn't they mention that in the movie?
Yeah, and they even had the TV in there, and that's how they killed. That was a cool kill. Like the reveal with him was lame, but he had a pretty cool death. And then Kirby was like, "I saw that in a movie once."
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
Yeah, no,
dick.
Oh damn, he beat me to it. But yeah, it was fun.
Billy, you cut me deep. I think I'm dying here, man. I'm feeling a little woozy here.
Oh, I love Stu, but I'm sure we would all
Matthew Lillard is awesome.
Yeah, but I'm sure we would all agree. It's like if they brought Stu back, that would be friggin' jumping the shark.
Yeah, unless
it just would have come across as kind of forced.
Unless Shaggy used only used like 1% of his power when 10% of his power when they killed him.
Exactly, yeah. And you know what, another scene I want to talk about is the apartment scene where they're all trying to escape and there's the ladder and all that.
Oh yeah, I like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so good. Like, I like the music there when the last chick was trying to get across, and I gotta say, for a character that didn't have much screen time at that point, she was just introduced in this movie. Her death scene was actually pretty sad. I gotta give him credit.
Yeah.
And she even got cut up the same way Dewey did. Like, I was like, oh Jesus. And were you guys satisfied with the gore in this? Because a lot of my friends that have seen it have been telling me that they felt like the gore was too gratuitous. But I didn't think so.
Not really.
No, I didn't have a problem with the gore.
You gotta remember, in the first movie, Drew Barrymore was stabbed to death and hung on a tree.
Yeah.
You saw her intestines hanging out.
Yeah, and kind of going back to that with using a popular actress, I see nothing on Facebook about people bitching about how they use Samara Weaving in this, but I'm like, that's the point. That's what Scream does. I was like, what did you expect? I mean, it's not that I expected that she was going to be the opening kill, but I knew they were going to do something because I was like, her being a ghost face would have been too obvious, or her being a main character would be too obvious, so they're going to do something. And I liked what they did with her. And I didn't even know she was Australian, actually. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and dude, her kill was fucking vicious. Like, she was really selling that. Like I felt that. And that just goes back to how they juggle the tones really well in this. Like, at least for me, it didn't feel tonally inconsistent at all. What do you guys think?
Not really.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, as far as suspense, the best scene in the movie has got to be the subway scene.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
That was awesome. That part was awesome.
And that's another way they kind of subverted your expectations, because the trailer, the teaser, edited to where they're all actually there together, but Mindy actually got separated. So I was like, good job.
I'm actually kind of wondering, it's like, with all those random costumes, was it like Halloween night, and they were going to a party, or is it? Oh, it's okay. I was gonna say either that, or they were going to a horror convention.
Yeah, they all. Yeah, that was established that it takes place around Halloween.
Yeah, because when Ghostface. Oh no, you can go.
And I liked all those those Easter eggs. Like, you see Georgie from Ed, you see Michael Myers, you see Jason, you see Freddy, you see the Babadook.
Michael Myers?
Yeah, you see Michael Myers.
Mikey.
God, who else did we see?
Wait, did you guys already? I think I saw a Pinhead in there, or did you guys already?
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember Pinhead.
Yeah, Pinhead was
I actually didn't notice Michael Myers when watching it in theaters. I actually noticed that last night when I was watching it again. I know I fail as a Halloween fan. You can say it. I can turn in my card.
Pass that ship forward.
Time to pass the torch. It's all yours, bitch.
Fucking Corey Cunningham loving simp.
but for real though, I gotta say that, because we all agree that for varying degrees we all like the Scream movies. There's definitely been moments of tension and suspense, but I gotta say, this is the first scene in a Scream movie that I've seen in a while that really gave me chills. Like, I was really kind of curling up on my seat a bit. Like, I was feeling that scene, man. I don't know about you guys, but it was really working on me.
Yeah.
or maybe it's just the effect of seeing it on the big screen in a theater.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be that scene's a big highlight in the movie.
My
Uh,
theater was crowded.
My theater was packed. Well, my theater wasn't nearly as packed, but then again, that's probably because I went to a 9 o'clock showing. I mean, and like I said, when I went to go see Creed 3, it was like there were literally no seats left. So maybe it was just because I had that. I mean, it was crowded. Don't get me wrong, but it's like after that, it was like, okay, this isn't nearly at the most crowded I've seen. But yeah.
I went to like a 12:15 3D show, and there were just like 4 or 5 other people and mine. But I guess that's more or less because my theater it's more local and independent. Like I imagine if I went to like Regal or IMAX or whatever, it would have been packed probably.
AMC.
Or
Yep.
Oh, hold on. Wait. Shit.
don't if you go to Regal, don't forget to sign up for Regal Unlimited.
And if you go to AMC, sign up for AMC Stuff's A-List.
Roseburg Cinema.
This hurts.
And cut.
Although to be fair, Zach, I think you probably have. And to be fair, Zach, I think you probably have the advantage over Devin and I because you don't have to deal with the cringy promo ad.
Did you guys have to see that? Are they still showing that fucking commercial?
They're showing the she's beauty and she's grace, and heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Yes.
Damn. But think of it this way, guys. You guys just have to see it once for every movie you go see. Try seeing it twice in one night, because me and Sarah, when I went and visited her in Halloween a couple years ago, we saw Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Halloween Kills the same night. So I had to see that ad twice.
So you said to see the Nicole Kidman ad twice?
Yep. I have
unfortunate souls in pain, in need.
Yep.
But then again, I've probably seen a lot more movies in theaters, so I had it worse. I probably seen that ad a lot more times than you have.
Oh yeah, definitely. But is it just me though, or did the killer monologue and then the climax all feel kind of rushed too? Like they're all giving their monologue, and then all of a sudden they're rushing into they're fighting the killers all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
It felt faster than these scenes usually go. Like that.
Yeah.
That was with me.
Yeah, a little, but I didn't notice it too much.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I didn't really feel the 2-hour running time.
Oh,
I didn't even know it was 2 hours. It felt more like an hour and a half. I didn't.
Yeah, like it had a really fast pace to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd rather have a movie with a fast pace than a slow pace.
That's true.
So, any other big things y'all want to talk about before we get into our score and re-ranking the movies, or you feel like we've covered it all?
Honestly, it's just me speaking. Does there really need to be a 7th movie?
I mean,
I would say for the sake of doing a movie that really wraps up the story, because you could say that, I mean, there's not a cliffhanger in this movie, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it doesn't have that final chapter feel to it.
Well, I'm going to say this right now is the fact that, I mean, with more these sequels that they keep pumping out, the greater the risk that it's going to eventually fail, that it's going to eventually fail. I mean, thankfully, it hasn't happened yet, knock on wood. But, but the thing is the fact that if they are at least smart enough, if they have to do a Scream 7, then I would say as long as it's like in the right hands, as long as they try to be more clever with like its commentary, and with its story and its characters, it probably could be it. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I think it probably, as long as it's in good, it probably could be in good hands as long as it's like clever with like the commentary and the story and the characters, things like that.
Like,
And it doesn't feel like and it doesn't feel like just a pointless cash grab. Because every time one of these Scream movies comes out, I'm always worried that it's just that they run out of ideas and now they're just milking the fuck out of this franchise.
yeah. Like, I would say do one more just so you could, like, for the purpose of the final chapter. You know, not a Friday reference, but just wrapping the story up, wrapping up the characters. Because I do stand by, because I really like this movie, but Scream 5 could have been an ending, because that last bit they had with Sam talking with Sydney and Gail and what those two characters were saying, that felt like closure for their characters. Did you guys get that kind of feeling?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And again, that's why I actually feel like they handled Sydney's absence really well. It's like, I could totally buy that she's just doesn't want anything to do with him, or not that she doesn't still care that people are going through this, but she just wants to, because she just wants to live her life in peace. And that was actually a really good line, by the way. I thought it was one of the best lines in the movie, because Gail was like, I just want to catch this fucker. I was like, maybe you do, or maybe you feel like without Ghostface in your life, you'll just fade away or whatever. That's a really good line. But even then, it's like, if they're gonna do a 7, would you say still just let Sydney live her life, or what do you think?
I mean, I would say that if they do end up doing a 7, if Nev Campbell just has no intention, I don't think Nev Campbell's ever coming back, to be honest. And if that's the case, then I think they ought to respect that. But if she does end up coming back, if she does agree to say, okay, one more, then I mean, as long as it's like, as long as it kind of makes sense, as long as it doesn't feel so forced, like, oh look, she's here, like nothing, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just make sure where it makes sense.
Oh look, it's Nev Campbell. Applause.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like, and I would also say keep these same directors, because they're doing a damn good job so far.
Yeah, don't tell that to John.
Yeah.
John's already typing in the comments right now as we speak.
They just laugh at us. Why? Because we love something? We're just a fucking joke to them?
They did it like a movie.
They hated the movie. They hated a movie.
I was fine with it, because I guess we'll get into that when I'll just save that for when I talk about Scream 5 and when I re-rank the movies real quick. But I don't know. Anything else or final thoughts, probably?
Well, I said everything I wanted to say.
Yeah, same here.
All right, then. So we will now get into our final thoughts and score, and then we will each re-rank the movies briefly. I guess not like make it really long, but re-rank the franchise, see where 6 fits, and then we will wrap it up. So my final thoughts: I thought they did a damn good job with Scream 6. It kind of strains credibility and logic in a few areas with what characters are able to survive and whatnot. But they still had a solid enough meta commentary. It was a nice change of setting. This really felt like something fresh, new, and different, save for the third act mostly. But as I said before, the Scream franchise retains its streak as the most consistent of the horror franchises as far as quality. And with that being said, I'm going to give it an A and an 8.5 out of 10. Devin?
Overall, solid, fun movie. It was a lot better than I thought. I'd say go see it. Pay for a matinee. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Awesome.
Good
Rob?
movie.
I mean, I've said a lot about this. Like I said, I was going into it. I was extremely worried because I felt like they had run out of ideas. But it's like they kept surprising me with just how they kept surprising me with like its clever commentary about subversion of expectations, franchises, etc., and just how well these characters done. It's nice change of pace. I would. This is one that is. This isn't my favorite of the Scream franchise. We'll get to that when we get to our ranking, but I would say that this is honestly a very worthy. This is a very worthy sequel in this franchise. I'm so happy that because I was thinking that this movie was going to suck, but I'm so happy to be proven wrong about it. So I would say go check it out in theaters, and my score is a 7 out of 10.
Good. So now, and I've already made kind of a list in here. My opinions might be controversial, I don't know, but we'll have to see. My number 6 is still Scream 2. Don't get me wrong, for something to be last place in this franchise is still a damn good movie. I like every single one of these movies, so do not take this as a slight in any way towards Scream 2. I like the best stuff in the movie is really with Sydney dealing with her trust issues and just dealing with what she went through and working through all that. To no one's surprise, is the heart of the movie. I like how they progressed Dewey and Gail's relationship, and the new characters not as fun as they were as the overall cast of the first movie, and that's kind of why this is last place for me, because for a 2-hour movie it kind of drags in a few spots, and that's kind of another detriment to it, but they make up for it with yet another kick-ass third act, and the reveals were really cool, and plus you have Sabretooth in here as a supporting character, so what else could I ask for? Number 5, Scream 3. Yes, I'm one of those people. I like Scream 3 more than Scream 2. This is the one that most people would consider the worst of the series, if not the one they would say is downright awful. But at the same time, it feels like more people are coming around to it, and I've always loved Scream 3. Like, I thought it had much more tension and suspense in it than 2 did, and yet again, the way they progressed the story and the characters was great. And I will say, if this were where you're going to actually end the Scream franchise, not a bad way to end it at all. Roman was a good reveal. Fight me. And I can totally buy how they're trying to bring it full circle up to that point in the trilogy. And it was pretty brilliant, I'd say. Number 4, the new dog on the block, Scream 6. Yeah, it's the new dog on the block, so it's either going to go up or it's going to go down. And like I said, what really holds it back from maybe being my second favorite or even top 3 is how they used Gail Weathers. Again, I didn't like how they used her character mostly in this, save for her eventual scene with Ghostface, which was good. But they made good use of the New York setting. Ghostface was really brutal, as we've just talked about in this review. So for right now, it is number 4. Number 3, Scream 5. I still stand by this being the most, as far as pure emotional weight, this is the biggest tearjerker of the entire franchise. I stand by saying that this is the most emotional of the series. I would say that for both the performance from David Arquette and just how they use the character, I would say this is the best that Dewey has ever been in the entire franchise. Maybe I'm on a hill, just on an island with that, but I loved how they used all the characters in this. Again, what I mentioned before, I loved how they used Sydney in this. She just trying to live her life, and it felt properly motivated that she only came back to avenge Dewey. And it also had something to do with her protecting her family, but I digress. The new characters were really likable. You could definitely see there's a lot of potential with them, which they proved that potential with Scream 6, as we just saw, but it was a solid entry that had a lot to prove considering they didn't have Wes Craven at the helm, so it is still one of my favorites of the franchise. All right, number 2. This might be controversial. The original Scream. Should I Phantom Zone myself?
It's not as bad as your Halloween ranking.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but
No,
but like,
yes.
but yeah, what could be said about Scream? You know, it saved the horror genre when it was dead in the water, or not just dead. It was like it was already, you recovered the corpse, but it's all maggoty, the skeleton and the bones. The horror genre was already like long since dead. So Scream saved the genre for the most part, you could say. And again, the characters and the commentary was fresh and new for the time, and you had a cool twist with there being 2 killers. What else can be said? Scream is awesome. But my number 1 is Scream 4. I think this is the movie that had the best usage of characters and meta commentary that the franchise had since the original movie. While you could say that this, when it came out in 2011, that the era of remakes and reboots had already kind of passed, you could see that that's what justified the movie's existence, is using that as your crutch for talking about that. And still the best killer reveals. I'm sorry. I did say what you will about Rory Culkin's reveal. It shocked me, but I really didn't see Jill's reveal coming, and then her reason. It's brilliant. You know, it kind of goes away from Sydney, but at the same time it doesn't. Instead of just wanting to kill Sydney for revenge like usual, it's just she wants to become her. I thought that was all done really well. And yeah, for a final film from Wes Craven, it was a badass final film for him to make, even if we didn't know at the time that it would be his final film. So that is my ranking. Devin?
So I'm not gonna go into like description about all of them. So dead last for me is Scream 5. Number 5 is Scream 2. Number 3 is Scream 4.
Number 4.
Yeah, number 4 is Scream 4. Ironic.
Yeah.
3, I'll put Scream 6. 2, I'll put Scream 3, and number 1 is obviously the original.
Very well.
I've always had a soft spot for Scream 3, despite that awful wig on Courtney Cox.
I always had a thing for you, Sid.
By the way, before Rob makes his choice, gives his ranking, why does Courtney Cox look like Michael Jackson in this movie? She looks like Michael Jackson. I wasn't the only one thinking it. You got the feeling. Alrighty, Rob.
So let's see. For me, I mean, for the record, no, I don't think any of the Scream movies are bad. So, like, even the worst one, I think was just all right. So just keep that in mind. So for me, dead last would be Scream 5. Like I said, I just think it's all right. Like, I mean, I did like it when I first saw it, but over time it got a little bit worse for me. Number 5 would probably go to Scream 3. Number 4 would go to, ironically, Scream 4. It would have been higher if it weren't for the fact that I just did not. I mean, it probably would have been higher if it weren't for the villain's motive. So Jill just wanted to be famous. That was her reasoning, which was stupid. Number 3 would be ScreaIVI, the new one. Number 2 would be, ironically, Scream 2, and number 1 would be the original.
Very good, very good. Alrighty. Any final words before we wrap it up for today?
Shameless plug, but if any subscribers to Zach Galaxy channel know our show, The Cool Kids, on the Cool Kids movie reviews, we will be reviewing Shazam: Fury of the Gods on Saturday.
And one more thing before we close it out, we just got a message from Rome. I'm just gonna give say what he said, because he just saw Scream 6 and he just posted in the chat just now. He just said, I watched Scream 6, I thought it was good up until the reveal and became an eye roller after. So I just wanted to what? Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh crap, he's gone. How?
I was just reading Rome's review, and then he just like, oh, I gotta get out of here. Oh, there he is.
Freaking Wi-Fi.
Here he is.
All right.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is being a dick again.
Yeah,
but I am back.
But as Devin said earlier, if you are subscribed to our other channel, The Cool Kids, know that this coming up Saturday, we will be doing a review of Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which will be hosted by John. Good. So,
probably just comic book fatigue, but yeah, am I the only one just feeling nothing from those trailers?
I felt like the trailers kind of spoiled too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
I hope it's just as good as the first one. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna bomb.
Yeah, because I mean, now that we're entering like the gun verse, and the fact that, I mean, even the first Shazam only, like, it just barely made its money back, so it just barely broke even.
Yeah, I think it's only going to open to like what, 35 million, I think. So it's not looking good.
No.
All right, we got Austin in the chat. He hasn't seen 6 yet, but this is his ranking of the first 5 so far. And yes, in case anyone was wondering, Dylan and Austin were not able to make it for the review of Scream 6 because Austin has not been able to see it yet, and Dylan is in the middle of a move, so he's still getting set up, and plus he's been kind of under the weather, so kind of last thing I'll announce before we do our plugs is, I will be doing another stream down the line to get Dylan's thoughts on Scream 6, and then Austin will be on, hopefully, to talk about it, but in the meantime, so, excuse me, brain fart. So, we already did our shameless... Oh, yeah. All right, so we already did our shameless plug. Thank you. I would like to thank everybody for watching. Once again, like and subscribe here if you want to see more, and also subscribe to these awesome people at The Cool Kids. They do great stuff. I join them every now and then when I'm able to. So, with that being said, we will see you all next time. Ghostface out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.